Is Tori Averitte, and I am completing my signature project part 2 for the University of West Alabama Masters of Education in Special Education, K through 6. This is my research proposal paper, The Effect of Reading Intervention on Low Socioeconomic Students. Many students are being raised in a low socioeconomic household. Many students that are being raised in a low socioeconomic household struggle academically within the school system. State testing scores and academic grades are lower compared to students being raised in a middle socioeconomic household. Low socioeconomic status is associated with an individual's low educational achievement, employment, or income. Environmental factors could also be included. Research has shown that students in a working class or low socioeconomic class have lower intelligence, critical thinking skills, or a disability. Children born into low socioeconomic status households have many factors that could have a negative effect on their academic achievement in school. Research has shown that children born into low socioeconomic households suffer through many stressors that can have a negative effect on their cognitive development. One way to help decrease the achievement gap is by providing direct, explicit intervention to students. Evidence-based reading intervention is essential to help students that are performing below benchmark. It provides students with structured literacy. Pinecrest Elementary is a school within the Sylacauga City School District. Pinecrest Elementary is considered a rural Title I school and consists of grades 3 through 5. Even though Pinecrest Elementary has shown growth in their reading proficiency in recent years, students from low socioeconomic households are performing below their peers in middle socioeconomic households. This study will investigate the connection between low socioeconomic status and academic achievement. It will measure the effectiveness that evidence-based intervention has on low socioeconomic students' academic achievement. The following graphs show the difference in STAR reading scores between Pinecrest Elementary students' 5th grade special education students. Each of these students has at least one learning disability. Graph 1 shows scale scores for students raised in low socioeconomic households, and their scale scores fall between 610 through 872. Each student scored in the first percentile was in the urgent intervention category. Graph 2 shows scale scores for students raised in middle socioeconomic households. Their scale scores fall between 899 through 988. Each student scored between the 3rd and 19th percentile. 4 of the students are considered urgent intervention, and 4 students are in the intervention category. All students are considered below benchmark. The data in the graphs come from Renaissance Star Reading. Renaissance Star Reading is a K-12 online assessment platform that assesses a student's reading proficiency and skills that are aligned with the state's reading standards. The graphs on my paper show that students from a low socioeconomic household might have lower achievement than students from a middle socioeconomic household. This study will investigate how evidence-based intervention SPIRE affects students from low socioeconomic households' reading proficiency. SPIRE is an evidence-based reading intervention program that supports the science of reading. Since low socioeconomic students are less proficient in reading than middle socioeconomic students, it is critical to create a plan to examine how evidence-based intervention can affect low socioeconomic students' academic achievement. The population that will be assessed in this research will consist of a mixed population of both male and female students at Pinecrest Elementary in grade 5. There are 16 5th grade students that receive special education services due to a learning disability. Since this is a special education class, there will be a mix of diverse disabilities. All students will be grouped based on their socioeconomic status, low or middle. This sample includes all 5th grade special education students that will be separated into 2 socioeconomic groups. Group A will be the low socioeconomic students, and Group B will be the middle socioeconomic students. All students will participate due to each one being below benchmark on STAR reading. The sample technique is a cluster random sample of 5th grade special education students at Pinecrest Elementary School. In the cluster random sample, there will be two clusters. One cluster will be a group of students from a low socioeconomic household. The second cluster will be a group from a middle socioeconomic household. The students will be a mix of both males and females and different ethnicities. The age of these students ranges from 10 to 11 years old. The special education teacher will work closely with the special education students that are receiving explicit reading intervention from the program SPIRE. The 5th grade special education staff will collaborate together to collect data for this study. This study will not cause harm to students. The post-test will not count against students. The post-test will not count against the student academically, nor will it affect their grades. Each student will be assigned a number 1 through 16 to keep their identities and personal information confidential. Due to these students being minors, consent forms will have to be sent home to their parents or guardian requesting permission for their child to participate in the study. If a parent does not consent, the student will be removed from the study. Students will also receive a consent form agreeing that they comprehend the risks involved in this study. IBR was approved for this study to continue. Pinecrest Elementary's 5th grade special education students will be placed into groups. Group A will be low socioeconomic students, and Group B will be middle class socioeconomic status students. Before the study begins, both groups will complete a pre-test from SPIRE to determine their knowledge of foundation skills and a STAR test to see their academic levels. The pre-test and STAR reading assessment should take place a week before the study begins. Group A will receive reading intervention from SPIRE. Group B will receive intervention strategies such as scaffolding, reading fluency, and phonics instruction. Both groups will receive reading intervention by a highly qualified teacher for 40 minutes a day, Monday through Thursday. Their intervention will focus on the same skill. On the last day of the week, each student will complete a SPIRE post-test that consists of reading a comprehension passage that includes a weekly phonics skill and answering 2 to 3 comprehension questions about the passage. This data will be collected for 4 weeks. Students will complete STAR reading at the end of the 4 weeks for progress monitoring. Results from the low socioeconomic group will be compared to the middle socioeconomic group scores to see if there was an increase in academic achievement. The data will include the post-test and STAR reading data. This data will take approximately 1 week to be collected and sorted. The qualitative study will seek to connect how evidence-based intervention can positively affect a low socioeconomic student's academic achievement. This plan provides data on how intervention can help low socioeconomic students make progress in literacy and academics over a 4-week period. The pre-test and post-test are created by SPIRE and will be used the same in both Group A and Group B. All students will complete the STAR assessment before the study and at the end of the 4 weeks. Each instrument will be reliable due to all students receiving the same pre-test and post-test. The answers for the post-test will be short answers and will come from the passage. This will ensure the validity of the test because the information on the post-test will come from SPIRE weekly lesson. It will include the phonics and foundation skills covered within the 40-minute intervention groups. STAR reading assessments are proven to provide validity evidence for progress monitoring and are reliable. It helps shows a student's academic growth. A mortality and a subject characteristics threat could take place during this study. A limitation that could affect the study is chronic absenteeism. This could be due to sickness, personal reasons, or environmental situations. If a student misses more than 2 days a week of the study, a student's data can be omitted. By the end of the study, there will be evidence of growth in academic achievement for low socioeconomic students due to explicit intervention. The data from pre-test and post-test and STAR will be analyzed to see if evidence-based intervention has a positive effect on low socioeconomic students' reading achievement. Some things that I would like to make to change in my original plan would be the type of testing tool that was used. My school would be using iReady instead of STAR for this upcoming school year. More research that I would like to be made or would like to do would be to see how diverse ethnicities would benefit from explicit reading intervention.